I've been watching something strange happen over the last 6 months. Top coaches, the ones charging real fees, working with real clients, are going back and rewriting their books, not updating them, not releasing a second edition with a new foreword. I mean, tearing them down to the studs and starting over. Same author, totally different book. One guy I talked to has a garage packed wall to wall with the old version. Author copies that he'll never hand out. He told me he'd rather start from scratch than send another one of these out into the world. And when I asked why, they all say some version of the same thing. The first one made me look successful. It just didn't make me successful. Here's what they figured out. That first book, it was written for the algorithm, for the badge, for the bestseller screenshot, for the LinkedIn post with the confetti emoji. And their best clients didn't read that as authority. They read it as marketing. So if your book isn't generating calls, if it's sitting on Amazon with decent reviews, but your calendar stays empty, it's not because the writing is bad. It's because the book was designed for the wrong job. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 3 things: what those bestseller badges actually mean, and what your clients really think when they see them, why chasing the list can cost you 6 figures and leave you with a garage full of books and zero pipeline, and the one scoreboard that matters if you want a book that brings in real revenue. Because the moment bestseller feels like marketing, you're done before the first call even happens. Let's start with what's really going on behind that bestseller sticker. This is how the Amazon game works. Every day on LinkedIn, you see somebody post a screenshot of that orange #1 bestseller flag, and they write a victory caption like they just won the Nobel Prize. Here's what's actually happening. Amazon has over 16,000 book categories. 16,000. That means you don't need to sell 10,000 books to hit #1. You don't even need to sell 1,000. In the right tiny category, you might only need a dozen sales, sometimes less. So you pick an obscure category, something so weirdly specific that no real person browses it, then you drop the price to 99 cents for a short window. You email your list, you text your friends, you beg your group chat, you push a handful of quick sales through the pipe, and because that category is so small, the algorithm spikes you to #1. Screenshot, post, fire emoji, then you switch the price back up and you call yourself a best-selling author forever. Now look, I'm not mad at anybody for doing it. I'm just telling you the truth. Because when you're a coach or a consultant, that badge has a hidden cost. And here it is. The real buyers know the game exists. High-ticket clients are not naive. They've hired marketers. They've watched people buy awards. They've seen influencers rent credibility before. So when they see that orange screenshot, a lot of them don't think, wow, authority. They think, oh, you're playing games. And the moment you signal, I need a badge, you lose the very thing you were trying to gain: trust. It's like wearing a fake Rolex to a meeting with the guy who owns the watch company. He doesn't get impressed, he gets quiet, and he starts watching you differently. Now, you might be thinking, okay, fine. Amazon is the kiddie pool, but surely the real lists are legit. Wall Street Journal, USA Today, New York Times, surely those mean something. Yes and no. Here's the part most people miss. Even the big lists can't be your strategy. Because if your goal is high-ticket clients, the list is not the prize. The prize is what the book does after the list fades. That's where people get wrecked. Let me give you the truth with the right framing. But first, a quick fact check that matters. The Wall Street Journal stopped publishing its bestseller list in November 2023, which is kind of the whole point. If a system becomes a magnet for campaign engineering, eventually people stop trusting it and it goes away. So when you hear someone still selling Wall Street Journal bestseller campaigns like it's 2019, you should hear that as a warning siren. Now, before that list ended, here's how big list campaigns generally worked. Not every time, not always, but often enough that the industry has written about it for years. You needed a large burst of sales inside a really tight window, and those sales had to show up through specific channels that the list compilers counted. So a whole side industry popped up. Firms that didn't write your book or build your audience, they just engineered the launch to hit the list. They sold you a logistical operation, a campaign, and those campaigns could get expensive fast, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you could still end up without actual readers. Just pallets of books, a badge, a press hit, and no pipeline, no leads, no booked calls, just boxes. Let me make this painfully practical. Imagine you write a check for $75,000 or $150,000 or $250,000, whatever the number is, and now your garage looks like a Costco aisle of your own face. You didn't buy authority, you bought inventory. And inventory doesn't close high-ticket clients. Now let's talk about the New York Times angle, because this is where it gets really interesting. The New York Times is so aware that bulk buying happens to game the list, they actually mark some books with a symbol, a dagger. It's a little, hey, something about these sales might not be what you think. It's basically the publishing version of the Scarlet Letter. And if you're watching this as a coach or consultant, here's the lesson. If the list itself has to warn people about bulk buying, then chasing the list can't be your core business plan, because it's still just status, not authority. This is exactly what the rewrites are about. Once you see how the badge game actually works, you can't unsee it. You either make peace with it or you go build something different. I want to give you one quick story because this is where it becomes real. I'll change the name, but the situation is common. A coach, let's call her Dana, wanted to raise her fees. So she did what everyone told her to do. She wrote a book. Then she paid a marketing team to launch it. Part of the plan was to get it to one of those bestseller badges because once you're a bestseller, surely clients will line up, right? She got the badge. She posted the screenshot. Her friends cheered. Her family cheered. Her industry peers hit the like button. And then nothing happened. No qualified inbound, no CEO emails, no "this book hit me in the gut" messages, no strategy calls. So she calls me frustrated and she says, "I don't get it. I did the thing. I got the bestseller." And I said, "Yeah, you got status, but you didn't get authority. Here's why. Her book was written for the algorithm, not the buyer. It was broad, it was safe, it was full of tips that anyone could say. And it was written to avoid offending strangers. High-ticket clients don't pay for tips. They pay for certainty. They pay for someone who can name their problem better than they can. They pay for someone who has a process that feels inevitable. If you want this kind of ROI on your book, you'll find a link down below. But the point here is the bestseller badge didn't help her because the book didn't do the one job that matters. It didn't create that moment where the reader says, "Wait, are you in my office? How do you know this is happening to me right now? I need to talk to you." That's authority. So here's the pivot. If you want a book that sells high-ticket services, you need a new scoreboard. Stop measuring how many books you sold. Stop measuring whether you hit a list. Start measuring 3 things. Scoreboard number 1. Did the book start qualified conversations? Meaning, did it generate replies, intros, direct messages, emails from the right people? Not strangers, buyers. Scoreboard number 2. Did the book filter out bargain hunters? If everyone loves your book, you probably wrote it too broad. A client-attracting book is allowed to be polarizing. It should be. It should make some people go, not for me. Good. That means it's for someone else, very specifically. Scoreboard number 3. Did the book sell your process? Not your personality, not your resume, your process. Because when you sell a named method, you stop competing on price. Now, let's tie a bow around this whole thing. Here's the real reason chasing the badge backfires. It tricks you into thinking the goal is mass approval, when the goal is really precision attraction. A best-selling book is written for the masses. It has to be broad enough that no one hates it, which usually means it's vague enough that no one changes because of it. An asset book is written for what I call a niche of one. And that just means this. Your book speaks so directly to your ideal client's exact problem that it feels like you wrote it for them, personally. Not leaders, not entrepreneurs, not people who want more. I mean, the specific person with the specific expensive problem that you actually solve. That's why authority beats status. Status is about looking impressive to strangers. Authority is about becoming indispensable to the clients who matter. Most people lose money chasing a badge. A smaller group makes real money building an asset. Okay, so what do you do with this? Simple. Stop writing for the algorithm. Stop writing for applause. Stop writing for the badge. Start writing for revenue. Start writing for the conversation. Start writing for the client who can pay you 20 grand or 50 grand or 100 grand and happily do it because you understand them better than anyone else does. That's why the smart ones are quietly going back to the keyboard, not to chase a bigger badge, to build a better asset. And if you want the step-by-step on how to build that kind of book, where the book becomes your sales team, your credibility, and your filter, here's what to do next. I pulled this video out for you to watch next. It's a quick, simple walkthrough of how you pull this off for yourself. So you're positioned as the authority. So premium clients come in pre-sold, and so you never have to chase clients or bestseller status again.